How about 8 hours of sleep? If you are not, you could be actually hurting yourself, folks. New research out of the University of Pennsylvania finds people who slept less than 6 hours a night had serious lapses in attention. And those lapses got worse as the week went on. Getting 6 hours of sleep, or getting just 6 hours of sleep for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, was the equivalent of staying up for 24 hours straight. And if you've ever pulled an all-nighter, then you know how loopy you feel and how you get now at night. How much sleep are you getting? Is it enough? What happens to you if you get too little sleep? It sounds like there's a bear in my ear.
I can barely pay attention to what you're saying. I'm listening to the snoring going on.
We actually recorded that when Rebecca was sleeping at her desk earlier.
You guys, you're not supposed to tell anyone that I snore.
Oh, goodness.
Let's read your comments. Grace writes, definitely not enough. Anyone have any good advice on how to fall asleep? I've had to resort to taking naps in the afternoon just to catch up.
Chris Forsberg writes, about 4 hours between work and 5 kids, not enough time in the day.
Yeah, and Ruby says, I'm getting between 5 and 6 hours a night, and no, it's not enough. I take 10-minute naps here and there, because if I don't, I'll be getting a migraine.
Well, all three of us work mornings, and so those who are up early with us, you guys know it's tough. And you've got kids, you've got a kid, I've got kids. It's possible.
Yeah, if I get 6 hours, that's a good night.
I had
between 5 and 6.
I had 2.5 last night. I average about 4 or less. It's terrible. And it was funny because my doctor said it may not catch up with you now, but it will later. I will look much older than I should.
That's not good.
And you'll just, you do forget
Let me tell you, and I know you really can't make up for the sleep that you've lost, but on weekends, I'll sleep like 14 hours.
That's me too.
I really will.
Well, the interesting thing about Facebook is that a lot of people are saying the same thing. D. Eversold says I sleep about 4 to 5 hours a night. J.D. Harm says too little sleep makes me not want to be around people so much. Ricardo says, yawn.
Yeah, Christine Hutchins says, I'm so glad I missed sleep when young. All that playing was just great fun.
Adeline Orobio says, I used to sleep almost 14 hours a day when I had to work at night. Now I'm a mom and I get maybe 6. And somehow that's enough. Coffee, of course, is a big help.
Yeah,
has to be enough.
I would think 6 is good. When I saw that, I was like, 6 is good. That's a good night.
Supposed to get 8 hours a night. Alicia Morris writes, who on earth gets 8 hours of sleep? I haven't done that since 1995.
Exactly.
So for 16 years of my 27, I've lived off of 6 or less and somehow managed just fine.
Yeah. Well, Michael Tech says he resorts to energy drinks when I don't get enough sleep. Then my fiance yells at me because they're so unhealthy and expensive.
They are expensive.
Well, J.D. Harm says, you gotta say, he says, gotta say, only time I get 8 to 9 hours is if I take an Ambien.
Yeah, and Kelsey says Kelsey Dunmeyer, I definitely don't get enough sleep. I feel very foggy and out of it for hours. No bueno.
Loretta simply puts, it's called time management. I think that's the biggest problem. I know for me personally, I can't go to bed because I always feel like I have so much stuff to do.
Yeah, totally.
And if you take naps during the day because you're tired, it does affect your sleeping at night. It's tough. It's hard to fall back asleep again.